Limiting beliefs are the conscious or subconscious thoughts that hold us back in some way. They're the things that you say that you can't, you won't, or you're not good enough. And they create stories in our head of what they are. And we create this narrative. And whatever those narratives are, we begin to believe them. Guys, one of the biggest things that will hold us, maybe the biggest thing that holds you back from achieving what you want to achieve, is your own limiting beliefs. And this reminds me of a story. If you have not watched it, you cannot, it blows my mind. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich. They made it a movie. It's kind of like a movie documentary. In the beginning of this movie, one of the most powerful stories that I've ever seen, it brought tears to my eyes, legitimately, is the story of Thomas Edison. And it is a real story. He was about, I want to say, somewhere between 5 and 7 years old. He gets a letter from school and he brings it home to his mom, and his mom's sitting there on a bench, and she opens the letter and reads the letter. And this letter reads, "Miss Edison, it's come to our attention that your son is a genius. He is extremely intelligent. He is outpacing the other kids." And she's reading this out loud to Thomas Edison, that we are not equipped to handle his ability of understanding his growth. And we feel that it would be a disservice to keep him in this class, and that we need to, you need to find another place to be able to handle his intellect and growth as a child. And of course, Thomas Edison goes off and becomes what he did and invent what he did and change the world for what he did. So later in life, he finds this box from his mother, and he finds the letter, and he opens the letter, and he reads the letter. Now, this is after he's, invented all the stuff that he's done and become who he was. And he reads this letter, and the letter reads that, "Ma'am, your son is basically educationally challenged. He is below performing on every level. We just don't have the capacity to basically handle your special needs son. And it's better that you put him in a place to handle his needs, because he's not keeping up with the class and whatnot." Imagine if that letter was read to him as it was actually written. There is no way on God's green earth that Thomas Edison would have became Thomas Edison. It's just the fact. He wouldn't have. And the world would forever been changed. But because his mom read a different letter, he instilled the belief that he was different. That is just such a powerful thing, because the reality is these beliefs that we are taught, these beliefs that we take on, shape the stories in our head that we tell ourselves. So they can either keep you stuck or they can push you forward. So looking at 2025, I always go back to at the end of the year, what do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 2025? What are your hang-ups? What are your hang-ups that are holding you back? And man, the reason why I talk so much about limiting beliefs is because I just had so many of them. One of them was that I couldn't become successful. Or I could become successful. It's not what it was. It was I could become successful, but I had to work 10 times harder than everybody else to get there. And it just simply wasn't the case. And I ended up manifesting my own reality. So real quick, what I wanted to break it down is what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are the conscious or subconscious thoughts that hold us back in some way. They're the things that you say that you can't, you won't, or you're not good enough. And they create stories in our head of what they are. And we create this narrative. And whatever those narratives are, we begin to believe them. So I want you to think about the things that you tell yourself all the time. I don't have enough time. How many times you said, I don't have enough time? I know I have. I'm too old to start something new. When I got out of special operations, believe it or not, I was in my early 30s. I contracted for a couple of years, and I started a business. I saw these guys around me that were my age that had been in business since they were essentially 18 years old. And I'm I'm so behind. I'm so behind. And the reality is, I wasn't. I was right on time. And I'll get to more of that in a second. My past failures, this one kills me. My past failures means I will fail again. And then I'm simply not smart enough. So where do these things come from? So with Thomas Edison, right? If the roles were reversed, if that story was reversed, it comes from childhood experiences. It comes from your upbringing, your parents, your teachers, your traumas, society pressures, and or failures. These all create narratives, and then we start seeing things, and what happens is we start proving ourselves right. Something happens, and we go, "Oh, you see? I did that myself, my wife." Something would happen, and I would go, "It wouldn't work out." And I'd be like, "See? This is what I said." So I'd prove my own thesis right based off of whatever would happen. Because I'm constantly looking, right? I'm constantly looking for the thing to prove myself right on the negative side of things. Limiting beliefs affect every decision that you make, your actions, and ultimately your results, right? They do create these invisible barriers that prevent you from reaching your potential. And they compound, right? It's a habit. It's a muscle that we have to flex. But they compound the negative in the negative way, right? Think about it like this. If you believe that you're not smart enough, well, then you're going to avoid opportunities to learn and grow. Anytime you see this, you get an opportunity to learn or grow, you're not going to take it, which then reinforces that belief. You have to ask yourself, how many opportunities have I missed out on? What is the impact of these limiting beliefs? How many times did I not jump? How many times did I not take the shot? What is it Wayne Gretzky said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? How many shots have you not taken because you had this limiting belief? And it compounds over years, over decades. Well, just put it into it. 2025 is your year. 2025 is your year to put away limiting beliefs, challenging. And then here's the deal. I want you to rewrite them. I want you to rewrite them. And I want you to do it this way. And this is going to challenge your past. It's going to challenge your traumas. It's going to challenge all your experiences and all the bullshit your parents and teachers and all these people have told you in your life and you've told yourself. And I just got off a call talking about a guy who somebody said, oh, you're lazy and you don't have enough energy. I mean, he's been told that since he was a kid and now he's in his 40s and he still believes that. So here's the thing. This is the framework we're going to uncover your limiting beliefs. What negative thoughts repeat in your mind? Because we all have them. These things that you wake up at 3 a.m. and you think about it. Negative thought that's just on repeat in your mind. Then what excuse do you use to avoid taking the action? What is that limiting belief that you avoid taking action? And then what fears stop you from pursuing those goals? Again, taking those shots because of the limiting beliefs. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough time, etc. Right? I'm going to fail. You might fail. I failed a ton. Failed way more than I have succeeded. But all those failures have led to my success. So then I want you to rewrite the belief, okay? So this is what you're going to do. Can I absolutely know this is true? This belief is true. I don't have enough time. I'm not smart enough. My past failures mean my future. Do you know that to be absolutely true? What is the opposite of that? How could the opposite of this belief be true? So think about what I just said, right? Think about what you have in your head. This is the most important thing. What empowering belief? This is how we have to rewrite our programming, right? Because you've been programmed to have limiting beliefs. You have to rewrite your programming to what is the empowering belief I can adopt instead? And here's the example. I'm too old to start something new. Actually, what the reality is, and anybody that is like healthy and has this shit worked out can tell you, with age comes experience and wisdom. As I've gotten older, as I've gotten more experience, I have so much more patience and so much more wisdom, which helps me make decisions and makes my success compound. So here's the empowering belief. It is now we're going from I'm too old to start something new to I have the knowledge and skills to succeed at any age. But it's a muscle that you have to flex. It's a muscle you have to work out. That's the thing that you have to put on repeat over and over and over. So now this goes into like you have to, it's not enough to identify and rewrite your limiting beliefs, but you have to reinforce them. You have to flex that muscle over and over and over and over. It's just empowering beliefs consistently. Like I do the sauna, I get in the cold plunge and I do my mantras and I do my empowering beliefs. Affirmations, repeating empowering beliefs daily. Like for instance, you have to say, I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to. So like, for instance, one of the things that is like, I don't have enough time, right? The empowering belief is I have enough time for the things that matter most to me. So that goes into like the whole priorities and routine thing that I talked about in the video last week, right? And then you have to visualize yourself. Every world champion that I've talked to has always visualized them on the podium, getting the gold medal, getting the belt, getting the title, whatever, winning the award, whatever it is, achieving a goal. You know, I set out to make Johnny Slick's an 8-figure company. In my mind, it had already happened. The vision was so clear that it already happened. I just needed time to collapse to get there because I'd worked on that vision. I worked on the empowering beliefs. Like I believed it so much that I think I talked to everybody else in the company and being. They just believed that, oh, we're going to be an 8-figure business this year, and it happened. So it's not enough to have the affirmation. You can't just have the empowering belief. You have to visualize it. You have to create the vision around it, right? And then you have to actually take the action steps. So what is like we talked about in the planning video, two videos ago, you have to rewind a little bit a couple weeks ago. You have to look, what is the action steps it take? So talking about that 1% rule, what is one thing that I can do every single day that aligns with my empowering belief? So we have the limiting belief, we rewrite it to an empowering belief, okay? We visualize the goal, we visualize the reality of that being true, and then we take the action every single day to make that happen. So I have to ask you this. What is the one daily action that you can take to reinforce your new belief every single day? Guys, that is what I want to leave you with today. We just talked about this in the Agoge for an hour. Challenge your limiting beliefs and rewrite them. Now, I'm not saying you can do this on your own, but I'll leave you with this. Inside the Agoge, I took my limiting beliefs course, which I'll put a link below for, and I wrapped it up into our Agoge mentorship program. We have 4 phases, mastering yourself. That's limiting beliefs is one of them. You can't tackle your fitness. You can't tackle your discipline if you're constantly at war with your mind. You guys have to check this out. You have to challenge these limiting beliefs. The only difference between a con man and you is the con man believes his own bullshit. That's the reason why they can get away with the shit that you're in. But you have imposter syndrome. You're the real dude. You're the real one that can make it happen. But because of all the bullshit in your life, it's like clogged up this, and you've created this narrative in this story that's holding you back. Push back. Don't believe it. Guys, remember, you are built by discipline. You're driven by purpose. I love you. I want you to have a great freaking year. If this is the year that you do anything, you challenge your limiting beliefs and you turn them into empowering beliefs, and it changes your life. If I can help, if the Agoge can help, if that group can help, if this course can help, get in on it. For $69 might be the best money you've ever spent. All right, check the link below. If you guys need me, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I love you. Peace.